Ugh. Ugh. Huh. Ugh. Huh. Ugh. Ugh. Whew. Am I done? All right. In all seriousness, I'm gonna show you guys how to finally transform this corner of my shop. It's been a seating area. There's a couple other changes inside the shop that you guys haven't seen yet. I actually added more recliners, more benches, did some reorganization. But before I show you guys all of that, I definitely want to tackle this last little area inside the shop that I want to get finalized. I don't have enough cushions to do the backrest yet, but I am going to be able to do all the seats, get them wrapped in fabric, and transform this space from this. This. I was supposed to snap for. Hopefully I did that right. Let's cut back over. And like most of my jobs, whew, it's gonna start right here at the table saw. I could cut it with a razor blade and take a couple scoring passes, but I know that I want to rip it in half so that way I can get enough for both seat sections. Let's see how wide this is. It should be 24 inches, but they cut it at the store. So it's really like, it's 24. Never cut foam on my table saw. Let's first see if it even slides. Because if it doesn't, then I might have to go back to like my circular saw. Might be a better cut, depending on how well it slides across my table saw surface. I think it'll be fine. We're gonna give it a shot and see. So if anybody's wondering if you can cut 3-inch foam on their table saw, yeah, that's also why I wanted to do it on the table saw as well, because how thick it is. Let's see how well this works. And I can see right away that is not what we want. So we're actually going to set up over here on the workbench and use a circular saw to rip this down. So sadly enough, I could not cut it on the table saw safely. So we're going to end up breaking it down here with my circular saw. And you see how the tape measure kind of pulls on the cushion. So I want to actually lock my tape into place so there's no tension on it. Get it right to the edge and make a mark at 12. Let me check from the other side. And that works. Let's come down here and do the same thing at 12. And because we're using a lovely track saw, or a track for my saw, I just go ahead and plop it onto the lines. Alright, so over here at the miter saw, I have several pieces of scrap plywood. They're ripped to the right width. I just need to cut them to the proper length. I'm hoping that I can also cut the foam over here on the miter saw. We'll see. And I have all my cuts listed right here. So let's cut the first one, and then cut the foam to match. And you guys will see me kind of just speed up as I go through the rest of them. The first one's going to be... And unfortunately, I get lucky once. And as you guys can see here, the second cut, it's not so smooth. I actually end up binding up the blade, have to end up removing the blade to clean this mess up. Take a look. So I ended up doing this part off camera. I ended up cutting the rest of them. The miter saw pretty much, because it didn't have the proper support and because this gave, the pieces ended up getting pulled up into the blade. So I ended up finishing them all up with the circular saw. But what I need to do is now for each section, spray one side, let it sit for about a minute. And then I can tack these onto each other. Then I can wrap them with fabric. And then I can go over there and put them in place. So the first thing I want to do is spray both sides fairly generously. And let sit for 1 minute. So for this video, I'm just going to spray a couple of them. Alright, well that last recording was actually about 3 minutes long. So this first one should be dry enough for us to tack together. And the fabric that we're going to put across the top, that's really going to be what holds everything down. So let's see how sticky, or if this even works on foam. So I honestly have no idea. And it does. Alright. I did make a mistake. One of them actually needs a notch. That's actually this one. And I definitely wanted to notch it before I glued it up there. But I'll take care of that. Because the rest of these can get wrapped in fabric how they are now. That one just needs to be trimmed up a little bit to the overall size that it's going to need to be. I think it needs to get a notch here and kind of come across. So I'm about to go over there and lay all that out, get this cut how it needs to be, and then we can I might just cut this one on the bandsaw, might be a better fit. But yeah, I'm gonna figure out how to do this little notch right here. They want to come back over here and start laying out and wrapping everything in fabric. We'll be going into actually making our custom cushions. So if you guys haven't noticed, throughout this entire process, I've been kind of winging it. I've never wrapped fabric. I never cut foam. So this is a completely new process to me. But to finish this up, all thing we have to do now is actually wrap the fabric and then mount these cushions on my bench. And to do so, I'm just folding the fabric any kind of way I can, kind of tucking the corners the best I can, and then coming back through with a staple gun. It's pretty simple. I'm using 5/8 inch staples, and they're going to hold just fine, and the seats are going to be soft. Have no other complaints other than that. So I'll check back in with you guys when we're ready to actually install. We are now nearing the finish line on this cushion seat project. The last thing we need to do is actually mount each one of these cushions to the actual bench that I build. And to do so, I'm just going to kind of clamp them in place. I'm going to use like an inch setback from the very edge, just so that when you're sitting onto the bench, you don't want your legs to dig into the plywood, but you also don't want the seat cushions to be too far back that you're not really sitting on them. So trying to find a comfortable balance, pretty much I did a couple test sits and figured out what feels comfortable. So I'm going to set them all back the exact same, and then clamp them down, and then use some 1.5 GRK screws coming through the 3/4 inch plywood into the 1/2 inch base of each one of the cushions. That'll lock them down. It'll protrude into the cushion just a little bit, but we are using 3-inch foam, so you're not going to sit on any screws or hurt yourself. But we're going to pretty much rinse and repeat that for each one of the cushions, get them all positioned. We do have one more that we need to build over here on the right because we ran out of fabric, and then we also have the backrest to tackle in a future project. But for now, I think this is a great upgrade inside the shop, being that I now have 3 recliners, 2 bar stools, and this whole L section of seats. There's plenty of room to actually entertain and relax inside the shop, and let me know what you guys think. Turn this into this. Hopefully I did that right. But if you guys have enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe. And then check out one of these other videos that I know you guys would enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.